So the question is, why did you become a coach, and why do you coach? Do you want the, do you want the do you want the true answer? The true answer is I decided to coach because I didn't have any other solution. I couldn't see any other way. At the time I made the decision, I simply wanted to understand more about being human and fast, because I wanted to become a good father, and I wanted to be a good husband, or whatever good means. I think I wanted to be aware and as awake as possible in my role as as a parent, as a husband, as a friend, and that took me on an exploration and a journey of exploration of getting as much access as possible to people, narratives, and trajectories, and desires and wishes in what they were trying to accomplish in their life and in their playgrounds, a playground of work, for instance, which is a playground I really like for the quick feedback it gives when we're trying to accomplish something with a lot of motivation and determination. The feedback is extremely fast, and therefore we learn a lot and fast about ourselves. And the more ambition and drive we put in the game, the faster the response, and therefore the more we have to learn about ourselves and actually open up in order to not achieve, but in order to continue to play in a way which is satisfactory. And sometimes it comes through conventional or socialized or socially acceptable success. And some of the time it's happening through what we would define as a failure or the absence of success, or an achievement which is below expectation. For me, it has always been, how can I support best another human being to be, to become and to unfold and to enable themselves and to trust themselves in becoming who they wish to be in that moment. And I think it happens also because that's very true for me. When I started coaching, I was going to be, or I was a very young father, and I was making a sharp transition from a very active commercial or strategic or business activity. And I could see that it would not generate the behaviors which were sustainable for me and for the people around me, and clearly not favorable for a long life. And therefore, I decided to make a very, very sharp transition at my level, but also I was aware of inheritance of maybe older generational stories and narratives, which I had the opportunity, or I felt I had the opportunity to adjust in this lifetime. Yeah, that's why I coach, and that's what I've been doing it for quite a while and quite intensely. Why am I doing it today? There is a very different. At the beginning, I think there was quite a bit of pressure. Now there's much less pressure. Now there is an appreciation. I have deep appreciation for the diversity of humanity and life in general, and so much appreciation for everything every one of my clients gave me through all the conversation we had together, and for they've shared so much with me along the way about their hopes, their dreams, the difficulties they were confronted or confronting. And today I see that we really are in an endless process of making revolutions and turning around and exploring ourselves through various angles. At all times we sometimes believe that we are going somewhere, but in fact we're just going around and around and around, and with ever so slightly small change and adjustment in how we see the world, and therefore, or vice versa, how we see ourselves, and sometimes both, which then shift our worldview on the world and on what we actually can do and be as the world. And when you amplify this and aggregate all the compounding effect of people becoming more and more aware of who they are and where they go, knowing that there is no end in this process, and there is so much more appreciation, because it takes a lot to of effort and courage and love and determination and pain and joy and laughter and creativity to go through that process. It's a process which has been happening since the beginning of time. That's how planets were formed. That's how elements were composed, and that's how we as human beings are continuing to evolve. We keep turning around. We go through the cycle of life. around the planet, which itself goes around the sun, which itself goes around and around, and uh, and that doesn't stop. And through the virus echoing and many other things that we can talk about, and I feel I'm getting carried away by my answer here. So I'm going to stop, hoping it's useful. That's why I continue. Obviously, there are some very practical and pragmatic aspect to it, because it's satisfactory also to see how when people are taking more grip and understanding of what's informing them, what's driving them, and what they can be with and not be with, and how they enable people and enable themselves, and how more interesting it is to integrate and align our energies to make a vision come true, and allowing ourselves to let it go when it's not relevant anymore, and therefore we engage and facilitate the emergence of other type of perspective and worldviews and vision to continue the game together. And that's from a concrete, immediate, practical, pragmatic perspective, physically satisfying to be in relationship with all these possibilities across multiple lives, and trajectories and stories. Thank you for the question.